Attention passionate Dallas, COWBOYSFANS. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Dallas Cowboys' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Dallas Cowboys fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Dallas, COWBOYSFANS. Let's get to the news now, folks. If you've been paying attention to the NFL headlines recently, you know that the Dallas Cowboys are always in the mix when big trades and roster moves happen. But this time, it's not just about a free agent signing or a draft pick. There's a buzz, a real buzz, about a potential blockbuster trade that could reshape the division and maybe even the conference. And it involves none other than the Cleveland Browns and their talented tight end, David Njoku. Yeah, you heard that right. The Browns have been stirring the pot with rumors that they might be open to parting ways with Njoku, and that has fans of the Cowboys, along with many others, on the edge of their seats. Let's back up a little and understand the context here. David Njoku isn't just a pretty face in Cleveland's offense, he's a legitimate playmaker. Drafted in the first round back in 2017, Njoku came into the league with high expectations. He's a guy who combines size, speed, and athleticism in a way that makes him a matchup nightmare for defenses. Standing at around 6'4" and weighing nearly 245 pounds, Njoku is a tight end who can stretch the field, block effectively, and make catches in traffic. Over the years, he's shown flashes of brilliance, with moments of brilliance that make you wonder what could be if he had the right offensive scheme or a consistent target. And with the Browns, he's been a part of a team that's been trying to find its identity in recent years, especially on offense. But here's where things get interesting. Reports suggest that Njoku is not entirely happy with his current situation in Cleveland. Sources close to the team have indicated that the tight end feels underutilized or perhaps simply wants a fresh start, somewhere he can be a focal point of the offense. And that's where the NFL rumor mill kicks in. When a talented player like Njoku becomes available, especially at just 24 years old, it attracts a lot of attention from teams looking to bolster their tight end position. The Cowboys, of course, are right at the top of that list. Now, you might be asking why the Cowboys? Well, let's talk about their current roster. Dallas has a solid offensive core led by quarterback Dak Prescott, who's finally getting back to full health after that gruesome ankle injury in 2020. Prescott is a quarterback who thrives with reliable weapons, and that's exactly what Njoku can bring. The Cowboys have a decent tight end in Jake Ferguson, but he's still developing, and adding a player of Njoku's caliber could be a game changer. Imagine Dak Prescott throwing to a tight end who can not only block and run routes, but also make contested catches and turn short plays into big gains. That kind of upgrade could take Dallas's offense to a whole new level, especially in critical third-down situations. But let's be real, trades in the NFL aren't just about wanting a player, they're about the logistics, the compensation, the salary cap, and the overall fit. The Browns, for their part, will definitely want a substantial return. They won't just give Njoku away for a second or third-round pick, they'll want a package that makes sense, maybe a combination of draft picks and a player or two. And remember, Cleveland has been trying to rebuild its roster, focusing on building a strong defense and a more versatile offense. They might see Njoku as a piece that can fetch a good return in draft capital, especially if they believe they can develop other tight ends or offensive weapons. Now, some of you might be thinking, but is this even realistic? Do the Cowboys really need another tight end? And that's a fair question. The Cowboys under coach Mike McCarthy have shown a willingness to be aggressive when it comes to improving their roster. They've also invested in their offensive line and have a solid receiving core led by CeeDee Lamb. However, the tight end position has been somewhat inconsistent, and adding a player like Njoku could be exactly what they need to push the offense over the top. Remember, the NFL is all about matchups and versatility. Having a tight end who can stretch the field, block, and create mismatches is invaluable, especially in the playoffs. But beyond just the on-field implications, this kind of move would send a message to the NFC East and the league as a whole. The Cowboys are always in the mix, always looking to upgrade, and if they manage to land Njoku, it would signal that they're serious about contending. It could also shake up the division standings, making things even more competitive. The Eagles and Giants are no slouches, and the Washington Commanders are quietly building something solid, so Dallas needs to keep pace and sometimes make bold moves to stay ahead. Of course, we have to consider the timing. The NFL trade deadline is approaching, and teams are now in the final stretch of evaluating their rosters for the playoff push. If the Cowboys see Njoku as a piece that can make a difference, they might be willing to make a deal, even if it costs a high draft pick or a player they value. The Browns, on the other hand, might be looking to rebuild or retool quickly, especially if they believe Njoku's dissatisfaction is genuine and that he might leave in free agency if they don't move him now. Meanwhile, the NFL landscape is filled with rumors, innuendos, and speculation. Fans are glued to their screens, analyzing every snippet of news, every quote from coaches or players, trying to piece together what's real and what's just off-season chatter. But this particular rumor about Njoku and the Cowboys feels different. It has substance, and it makes sense when you consider the needs of both teams and the talent involved. It's not just a fantasy, it's a real possibility that could materialize in the coming weeks. Now, let's talk a little about the potential impact if this trade happens. For Dallas, it could mean a significant boost to their offensive production. Dak Prescott has been looking for consistent targets, especially in the red zone, and Njoku's presence could open up more options for play calling. His ability to line up in multiple spots, whether inline split out wide or in the backfield, gives offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer a lot of flexibility. It also helps balance the offense, taking some pressure off the wide receivers, who have been reliable but could benefit from a more diverse attack. For Cleveland, trading Njoku might be a strategic move. They are in a rebuilding phase, and acquiring draft capital could accelerate their timeline. The Browns have a young core with players like quarterback Deshaun Watson, who's been trying to find consistency after returning from injury, and a defense that's been getting better each week. Moving Njoku could be part of a larger plan to recoup picks and build a more sustainable roster for the future. But let's not forget the human element here. Njoku is a talented player who's been through a lot in his NFL journey: injuries, team changes, high expectations, and now there's a possibility of a new chapter. The Cowboys, with their storied history and passionate fanbase, could be the perfect landing spot for him. A big city, a passionate crowd, and a team that's always looking to contend. These are the ingredients for a player trying to showcase his talents on the biggest stage. And as fans, we all love the thrill of the unknown, the anticipation of a big move that could turn a good team into a great one. The Cowboys have been building their roster with a mix of veteran leadership and young talent, and adding a player like Njoku might just be the puzzle piece that completes their offensive puzzle. Whether it's in the upcoming game or the playoffs, having that reliable tight end who can make plays when it matters most is a game changer. So what's next? Well, the NFL doesn't usually tip its hand too early. We'll have to stay tuned, watch the trade deadline, listen to the insiders, and see how negotiations unfold. But one thing is for sure: if this move happens, it will be a statement. It will say that the Dallas Cowboys are all in, that they're willing to make bold moves to chase another Super Bowl, and for fans like us, that's what makes this season so exciting. It's the possibility of witnessing something historic, a new chapter in Cowboys history written with boldness and ambition. Now, before I wrap up, I want to remind you all to keep your eyes peeled for updates. The NFL offseason and trade season are always full of surprises. Sometimes the biggest moves happen when you least expect them, and this could be one of those moments. The Cowboys have shown they're not afraid to make bold choices, and if they can land Njoku, it could be the move that propels them into serious Super Bowl contention. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUB algorithm to keep recommending the latest Dallas Cowboys news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. So fans, what do you think? Will Dallas pull the trigger and make this trade happen? Are you excited about the possibility of seeing Njoku in a Cowboys uniform? Or do you think Cleveland will hold on and try to get the best deal possible? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion really matters to us and to the future of this team. We're all in this together, and your insights make this community stronger. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for all the latest Dallas Cowboys news, rumors, and analysis. This season is shaping up to be one of the most exciting ones yet, and I can't wait to see how it all unfolds. Whether it's big trades, game day highlights, or behind-the-scenes stories, I'll be here to bring you the most comprehensive coverage. Thanks for watching, and as always, let's go Cowboys.